Today, we are going to entirely focus on using our chair for a yoga practice. So that means doing a whole bunch sitting in the chair, but also give you guys a little bit of a glimpse as to some things you can do with your chair to kind of create more of a yoga practice where you're not entirely on the floor. Now, for today's yoga class, all you will need is a yoga mat and a yoga chair. And make sure that your chair doesn't have arms. We're going to be doing some stuff turning in the chair. So if it's got arms, you're not going to be able to do that. And then once you have that, find yourself in a seated position. And once you're in a nice, good, comfortable seated position, bring yourself so that you've got about half of your leg on the chair and half of your leg off the chair. There is, or maybe in your chair, a support, but we're not going to use that support today other than to hold on with our hand later on. So once you're using your chair as what we call in the physical therapy world, unsupported sitting, meaning there's no support behind you, start to place your ankles directly underneath your knees and have them so that they feel like they're just a little bit wider than hip distance. So you could come down with your fists and then whatever that is, which is hip distance, just kind of take them a little bit wider today. So slightly narrower likely than the legs of the chairs where I want you to focus on for today. And then once you're there, allow yourself just to kind of roll your pelvis forward and backward, just to get I guess, a good feel as to how much pelvic and lumbar movement you have in the chair right now. And then as you do that, find that point for you where you feel like you're sitting right on top of your sit bones. So if you can feel those two bones in your chair on your bottom of your buttock area, get to the point as you kind of rock and roll your pelvis that you're like, yeah, those are my sit bones. And once you're in that position, try not to move your low back or your pelvis, but instead move just at your hips and take your entire trunk as a unit and just slightly hinge it forward. So what that'll do is it'll put you in front of those sit bones slightly, but more importantly, it'll put you sitting on muscle. And that muscle is your pelvic floor. In that position, you should be able to feel transmission of weight of your entire trunk into your pelvis, but also into your legs, which is extremely important in unsupported sitting. Now, as you're sitting here, before we start our first thing that we're going to be doing, check in that there's weight in your legs. So for me right now, where I have myself, I can't pick my leg up actively. I'd have to move my body weight back. Check in with yourself and see if you're in the same situation as I am. If you are, then chances are you're perfectly right there on your base of support. Now, in that position, let's just do a little bit of correction of our trunk and our shoulder girdles and our neck positioning. So first and foremost, make sure that you're not in a compressed position in the front of yourself. So if you feel like it's like everything feels tight through here, just simply kind of lift your rib cage and your sternum slightly up. If on the other hand, you kind of just place your hand on your sternum and you feel that your sternum is kind of pointed upwards towards the ceiling, really what I want you to do is just kind of settle and relax that rib cage slightly down so that if you could feel your chest, it feels like it's vertical to your pelvis, which is vertical to your shin bones. Now let's check in with these shoulder girdles. Nice and easy today. We're going to do one hand at a time. So just take your right arm down towards the side of your body. Slightly shrug your shoulder up towards your ear. So not a full shrug, just a slight shrug. And then rotate your thumb completely to the back of your chair. And then just settle your rib cage and your shoulder blade down on your rib cage. Then in that position, repeat it on the opposite side. Drop the left hand down, shrug the shoulder up slightly, rotate the arm all the way to the back, and then just kind of let that shoulder blade settle down like you did on the right side. Now, start to really feel like you're squeezing between your two shoulder blades. And once you do that, make sure that you didn't lose the position of your trunk and your pelvis and your legs, and then just simply bend your elbows and rest them onto your thighs. Nice. Now, lengthen through the back of your neck like you're trying to elongate the back of your neck, and then just kind of gently settle your chin into your throat. Take your tongue and rest it to the roof or the rugae of your mouth, and just let the very tip of the tongue touch the back of the top teeth. Very nice. Now, we're going to start with what we're going to do for centering to begin our yoga class today. So there's a fabulous meditation teacher. He's actually from the United States. His name is Shinzun Young. And he wrote a great book called The Science of Enlightenment. Basically, it's just a book on how to meditate. But what we're going to focus on today in class is pain. And so in the book, he talks about there's really two ways to be mindful about pain. Either you can focus away from the pain, or you can focus within and into the pain. And so that's what we're actually going to do for our mindfulness or our meditation activities for today's class. I'm going to teach you an easy way to focus away from pain to start class. And then at the very end of class, we're really going to focus on within, or really going internal to think about that pain. All right, so we've got a beautiful alignment of our body in an unsupported seated position. Your neck is nice and elongated. So allow yourself, if it's comfortable for you, just to go ahead and close your eyes. Make sure that you're still slightly engaging those muscles between your shoulder blades. And in this position, the way that we're going to focus on away from the pain is we're going to use the breath. It's probably the absolute easiest way to think about getting away from your pain. So wherever your pain is in your body today, take a moment to think about it. We have to have our perspective on what we're trying to focus away from, right? So if it's, a knee or an ankle, or maybe it's your head, maybe it's a shoulder, maybe it's your heart, maybe it's your mind, whatever it is, I want you to think about what is causing you pain. And then what we're going to do is, now that we've identified it, right? We've become aware of it. Now we're going to distract ourselves. And the easy way to distract ourselves is to use breath. So we're going to use belly breath today. If you're comfortable with making your diaphragm efficiently move in sitting, just keep your hands where they are on your thighs. But I want to teach those of you at home that aren't so good at belly breath a really easy way to focus away from pain and into your belly. So I like to take my right hand to my sternum and then take my left hand to my belly, just above my belly button. I still have my shoulder blades engaged back and down. Neck is long and chin is gently kind of tucked in as the tongue is touching the roof of that mouth. Now with your right hand, just give yourself enough of a push or pressure that you can be very aware if you feel your chest lift up. And what we want to do is focus on not letting the chest lift up or down on the inhale or the exhale. Now begin to focus on your left hand. And as you're focusing on the left hand, what you really want to pay attention to is that as you inhale, you feel that belly push into the hand. And as you exhale, you feel that belly push or relax away from the hand. So you're not pushing your hand in and out. The belly is pushing into the hand and away from the hand. Right hand and chest, nice and still. Now that we have what needs to be moving, let's focus on how we want to breathe. So we're going to simply take an inhale in for 4, 3, 2, 1, pushing into the left hand. And then as you exhale, just gently let that air come out through your nose. We're going to do that for a full count of 6. All right, let's go through about 3 or 4 of these. So inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Open your eyes, relax your hands down, and let's go ahead and begin with our chair yoga for today. So we're going to kind of focus on a top-down approach today. So we're going to start with our neck and kind of move down to our rib cage and our back, and then end in our hips, and then repeat that all over in a different position, basically, is what we're going to do. So let's begin with a little bit through our neck. So nice and easily, just gently take your right hand and place it onto your left thigh, and take your left hand and place it slightly behind you for a minute. So just a very gentle spinal twist to the left. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin, take a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, just look over the right shoulder. Can't get any easier than that. Take a deep inhale here, and then exhale. Bring the head back to the center, unrotate that gentle spinal twist. Left hand, right leg, right hand just gently behind you on the chair. Take a nice deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, gently turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Deep inhale in, and then exhaling out. Bringing your head back to the center, and then just derotating your body. All right, let's take our left hand and gently place it on the small of our back. So it's just kind of like where your waistband is. Right hand now, bring it out to the side of the body. Take a nice deep inhale, lift the arm up and over your head. And as you exhale, take your third finger and touch the tip of your left ear. Now lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Left shoulder blade, actively pull that left shoulder blade back and down. Take a deep inhale here, and then on your exhale, just gently tilt your head to the right. No pain here, just a bit of tension into the side of the left neck. Nice deep inhale into your belly, and then exhale out. Inhale, bringing the head back up to the center, and then exhaling the arm down, releasing the left arm from behind your back. Right hand, bring it behind your back, kind of rest it on the small of your back where your waistband is. Left hand out to the side of the body. Take an inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, drop it up and over the head so that the third finger is touching the tip of the right ear. Lengthening the neck and settling the chin, shoulder blade on that right side, back and down. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, side bend to the left, stretching a little bit through the right side of your neck. Hold here, deep inhale, and exhale. Inhale, lifting the head back up, and then as you exhale, dropping the left arm on down arm and relaxing the right arm. All right, let's just focus a little bit on one really particular tight muscle of the back of our neck that contributes a lot to tension in our head, either in the form of headaches, issues with our vision, or really just neck pain. So we're gonna kind of keep with doing the left side first. So take your right arm, bring your palm up and face your arm in front of you. Take an inhale and lift that arm up, and then as you exhale, drop it behind your neck so that it's kind of in the small of your neck and back area. And then with your left arm, palm up for me in front of you. Take an inhale, lift that arm up, and as you exhale, kind of cup the back of your head and see if you can get that your left elbow and your nose and your head are all pointed forward. Now, can you focus on your right elbow and make sure that it's pointed upwards to the ceiling? Do me a favor before we get into doing this active elongation stretch. Can you check in there's still weight in your feet and you haven't rolled yourself back onto your pelvis? So you're nice and tall and you feel weight in your feet. Take a deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, tip that chin to that left armpit. Start to feel that stretch in the back of the right neck. Now, left arm, take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, can you pull it up a little bit higher? Good. Maintain the stretch, no pain, please. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, relax into it. Inhale, lifting your head back up, and then as you exhale, relax your hands down. All right, let's repeat that on the opposite side. So left arm, bring the arm out in front of you, take that inhale and lift it up, and then as you exhale, just kind of drop that hand down behind the small of your back, between your neck and your shoulder blades. Left elbow is pointed straight up. Right arm, bring it in front of you. Take that inhale, bring that arm up, and then as you exhale, cup the back of your head with your hand. Have so that the right elbow lines up with your nose if you can, facing forward, left elbow up towards the ceiling. Lengthen through your body. Check in that as you did that, you didn't move your rib cage and or fall back into your pelvis. Check in, there's still some weight into your legs. Now lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, tip that chin towards the right armpit. All right, take another deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, can you reach that left elbow up towards the ceiling? Now take a nice deep inhale in and exhale, holding that gentle stretch. Then inhale, lifting your head back up, and exhaling, dropping your arms down. Very nice. Now let's go through some cat-cows. We want to do these in sitting in a nice, efficient way. So take your hands out so that you're close to your knees. If you can imagine your palm, right? Kind of looks like it stacks in line with your ankles. Good. Now, weight shift your body forward until you feel that there is even extra weight into your legs. Very nice. Now from here, inhale, sink your belly, arch your back, allow your rib cage to lift up, lengthen your neck and look up to the ceiling. Nice, guys. Then as you exhale, pull your belly up and in, start to have that tailbone tuck under, squeeze your hands to your thighs, spread your shoulder blades, lengthen your neck, chin to chest, and look into your belly button. Let's go through this 3 more times. So inhale, weight shift and hip hinge first, belly sticks out, arch the back, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen the neck and look up. And then as you exhale, pull the belly up and in, settle through that tailbone as it tucks under, spread those shoulder blades, chin to chest, look into your belly button. Good. See if you can make the breath happen the whole time. So inhaling, 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 and then even slower, exhaling, 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 exhaling. Very nice. One last time. Inhale, 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 inhale. And then slowly exhaling, 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 exhaling. Very nice. Bring yourself back up into the seated position. Feel the weight into your legs. In this position, let's open up a little bit through our side body. So let's start with our right side body. So just gently take your left hand and find the edge of the chair and just kind of hold on to it, gripping the side of the chair. Make sure that your knees are still stacked underneath your ankles if you moved your foot position while you were doing cat-cows. All right, from here, right arm, take an inhale, lift the arm up. Can you see if it kind of lines up with the right leg? As you exhale here, sit into the right sit bone. So literally feel your pelvis shift down into the right. Now, let's make this really count. Inhale, lift the rib cage up as you reach up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bend the left elbow and start to tip over to the left. Now, as you're tipping over to the left, can you check in that your armpit hasn't made its way down towards the floor? So that's kind of adding a trunk rotation. Can you turn your armpit up so you stay without kind of rotating? That's it. Now take a deep inhale, sit into that right sit bone. Exhale, maybe see if there's a bit more side bend that you've got, but keep that armpit up towards the ceiling. Now hold right here. Can you take that deep inhale into your belly? And exhaling out. Then inhale the arm all the way up and then exhale the arm down. All right, let's do the same thing on the left side. So grip a hold of the chair with your right hand. Left arm starts out beside you. Start with taking that inhale up with the arm. Line the arm up with the left leg. And then as you exhale, literally feel yourself shift your pelvis downward into the left sit bone. Nice. Now take the inhale and really feel the rib cage lift on the inhale, reach the arm up. And then as you exhale, side bend over, bend that right elbow. How far can you get on that side? Check in. Did the armpit start to face downward as you also rotated with your side bend? If so, turn that armpit back up and see how far you can get into your side bend. Take a deep inhale here, sit into that left sit bone. Exhale, maybe side bend that right elbow a little bit more. Now, take that deep inhale all the way into that low back, deep belly breath. And then exhaling out. Then inhaling, lifting the arm up, and then as you exhale, dropping the arm down. Very nice. All right, so now we've kind of made our way to here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a little bit of hamstring work, and then we're gonna make our way into our hips after that. So to do hamstrings in sitting, it's a great little exercise that I love to teach people. In the Institute of Physical Art, we call it bottoms up. But here's what I want you to do. Assume the toilet position, if you know what I mean. So you literally take your elbows and place your elbows on the front of your thighs. Once your elbows are on the front of your thighs, I mean, you can have your arms out in line if you like. You can kind of interlace your hands in between if you want. But in this position, check in that your feet look like they're roughly a little tiny bit wider than hip distance. You can go wider if you want. It is all a matter of your hip flexibility. So if you notice as you're a little bit wider than hip depth or distance apart, that it feels like you're arching through your low back. So I'm going to show this from the side, I think. And so if as you're here, you feel like you're doing that, what I'd like you to do is to take your feet wider so that you can get that rib cage and those hips to kind of get that nice straight spine. So once you're in that position, wherever your hands are, look between your toes now for me. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Check in that your ankles are directly underneath your knees. And if you looked at yourself from the side, like you can kind of see me, it's kind of like it's ankle, knees, elbows, shoulders. That's the position that you want to be in. All right, now let's get into working on these hamstrings, shall we? So give yourself a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, start to sit up like you're doing chair pose. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and look down towards the floor. Take another deep inhale, and on the exhale, without letting your back arch, so keeping the belly between the thighs, can you start to straighten your legs and look behind you? Bottom up. Get it? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, keeping the neck long, chin tucked, looking behind you. Is there any more straightening you can do? Now, for some of us at home, you might be feeling more the outside of your hamstrings or the inside of the hamstrings. You can play with your foot position, ladies and gentlemen, to get a little bit more of one or a little bit more of the other hamstring. Stay here, take one more deep inhale and one more exhale. Then slowly lower yourself down as calmly and gently as you can back to your chair. All right, so we're going to do it one more time, and we're going to add a little bit more of a forward fold for those of you at home that can do it. Now, if that was a struggle for your quadricep strength, okay, then don't even think that you're doing this for your hamstrings. You're doing it for leg strengthening because it's kind of a double duty exercise. Rest your elbows, stack them on top of your knees and shoulders. Get that nice good length between your spine, but don't arch your back. Have it so that it's nice and straight. Have your feet so that they're basically just a bit wider than hip distance, unless you have really tight hips. And if that's the case, take them a little bit wider. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, look straight down between your feet. Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, push into your legs and stack yourself so that now you're in chair pose. Now, gaze down, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. That's really going to actually help your hamstrings elongate. Take a deep inhale here. Now on your exhale, straighten those knees and bottom up. Gaze right behind you. Feel that lengthening through your hamstrings. Nice deep inhaling in and exhale. Is there any more bottom up for you? Keep your neck long, chin tucked, gazing behind you. If you would like to attempt a forward fold, then gently bring your hands downward, but don't take your gaze towards the floor. That's going to tighten your hamstrings. Keep your neck long as you're looking behind you. One more deep inhale into your belly and exhaling here, and then slowly elbows back on the knees if you drop them and come back to the chair. Very nice. Now, for those of you that have tight hamstrings, you can go as deep or as little as you want. It's a great exercise to strengthen your legs and lengthen your legs all at the same time. All right, let's get into our hip capsules here. So let's take our right leg and take the ankle and cross it over the left knee. Now in this position, if you were to do what is basically a figure 4 pose or a modified pigeon pose in sitting, and immediately push your knee out to the side, what happens is you create a lot of excessive side bend into your trunk, and you lose the fact that this is about your hip. So everyone, let's try to do this together. Can you look down at your left foot and make sure that the ankle stacks on top of your left knee? Then, just like we did when we opened our side body, can you put weight into that left sit bone? Can you feel how you already feel more stretch in your right hip? So don't think about how far you have to push the knee. Even if the knee comes up further, that's perfect. Sit into that left leg. Take your left hand to your ankle. Take your right hand to your knee. Once you're in that position, here's the trick, ladies and gentlemen. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, tighten your abdomen so that your trunk is nice and stable. Now, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, if you've got some, start to gently push with the right hand and pull with the left. So you're never going to push just down. You're going to create a rotation of both. All right. Take a deep inhale all the way into the belly, all the way into the right hip if you can. And then exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into the belly, into the right hip. And exhaling out. All right. Now, if you would like to introduce a little bit more of a stretch here, and you don't have a back problem that you're going to worsen by forward bending, give this a try with me. Take your elbows and tuck them into the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you pull up with your left hand and down with your right hand, gently pull your belly forward as you bend your elbows. So understand, you're not sinking your chest forward, you're pulling your belly forward. Aha, there is even more into the right hip. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out, sit into that left sit bone if you've lost it in side bent. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Slowly bring your rib cage upright if you had it forward, and then gently relax the push of the leg. Gently take the right leg down, and then let's repeat that all over again on the left side. So left ankle up to the right knee. Check in before you do anything else that the left ankle and knee are stacked. Once you have that position, what I want you to begin with is literally a weight shift. So put yourself so that you're pushing into your right sit bone. As you do that, you'll immediately feel that stretch in the left hip if it's tight. Now that you're there, left hand to the top of the knee, right hand kind of holds onto the ankle on the left side. It is a this, so you're not pushing the knee away. That's going to make you side bend in your trunk. What you're doing instead is trying to rotate your hip. So take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, gently push with the left hand, pull with the right hand. There's the stretch in the right hip. So figure 4 or modified pigeon pose. Take a deep inhale into your belly and your hip here. And then as you exhale, relax. Good. Now stay here if you like. Keep breathing. If you want to take this to the next level, pull your elbows back and down so that they're kind of beside your trunk. That's going to stop you from kind of crumpling and flexing through your trunk. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull your belly forward. So you're not letting your trunk collapse. Your elbows are kind of supporting your trunk by tightening your lats. You're just pulling your belly forward. All right. Take an inhale. Exhale, push the left hand down, pull the right hand up. Oh boy, that should be one real good stretch into that left hip. Let's do 2 breaths like we did on the right side. Deep inhale in. And exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slowly bring the rib cage back up and release the tension out of the arms, and then just gently uncross the legs. All right, let's play with eagle pose in sitting now. So take your feet and bring them completely touching one another. Toes are touching, heels are slightly out. That's how close you want your legs for eagle pose. Please check in that you've got half of your legs on the chair. This is not a time to fall off the front of the chair, ladies and gentlemen. In this position, what you're going to do is you're going to take your right leg and cross it all the way over your left leg. Now, for some of you, you're going to have a lot more flexibility than others. Some people at home are going to be like, what? Get my legs so that my knees stack up? Is that really possible? But try to do what you can. Now, if you want, you can even go crazy and work on interlacing your feet to one another, completely up to you. But don't go into an advanced position of putting your foot behind your calf bone if you feel that your right sit bone is completely off the chair. So this right sit bone, regardless of where you are right now, ankle locked behind the calf, ankle stuck out to the side, or legs barely crossed, do the same thing we did for our figure 4. Sit into that right sit bone. Now that you're here, you want to keep your trunk nice and high, and let's add the arms of eagle. So right leg is crossed on top of left leg. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, cross the right arm on top of left arm. If you can you interlace your hands just like you interlaced your ankles maybe? All right, now we are in one beautiful eagle pose here. If your shoulders are too tight to interlace your hands, then your hands are here. If your shoulders are too tight to stack your elbows, then it might be that all you're doing is giving yourself a beautiful hug. Only go to your level at home. Now, let's really make this count. You are sitting on a chair. No better reason to get into those deep hip rotators. So take an inhale, reach your elbows forward. And then as you exhale, pull your belly forward and start to feel that stretch through your right buttock. Now, if you're in any position of tension, please don't cause any pain. Remember, our focus is to kind of focus away from our breath, our pain right now. So take a deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling out. Let's do one more time. Deep inhale in, elbows go forward. Exhale, belly goes towards the thighs. Very nice. Inhale, as you exhale, relax your arms, and then inhale and exhale, relax the legs. That was hard, right? I know. So now let's try the opposite side. So start so that you have your feet within your hips, so they're not hip distance, they're nice and close. Then take the left leg and cross it over the right leg. Now, for some of you at home, just getting those knees stacked with that right ankle might be a major task. So this is where you're going to stay for your eagle pose in sitting. For those of you that are like, I want to see if I can get that ankle under and behind my calf, then just shift your weight so that you can get that ankle behind. Once you get that ankle behind, we need to make sure that that left sit bone is on the chair. So if you cannot get your left sit bone back on the chair, you should not have your leg behind your calf. Line up those knees and ankles. Sit bones are nice and equal onto the chair. Left leg is crossed over right leg. So let's continue our eagle pose through our arms. So inhale your arms out. Exhale, cross the left on top of the right. Then you can interlace your hands if you like. Again, if you've got tight shoulders and you can't interlace your hands, perfectly fine to stay here. If you've got really tight shoulders, perfectly fine just to kind of hug your hands one on top of the other. So figure out where your level is. And then let's move on to going just a little bit deeper if you've got it in you. So here's what you're going to do. On your inhale, pull your elbows forward as you straighten through your back. And then on your exhale, belly is what comes towards the thigh. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Can you see if you've got ankle and knees and elbows and hands all stacked lined up if you're doing full eagle pose? Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling here, one more breath, ladies and gentlemen. Deep inhale into the belly and exhaling here. Good. Bring the trunk back up and then relax the arms and shake them on out. And then uncross the leg and shake them on out. All right. We're going to do a modification of what's called goddess pose here. So what I'd like you to do in sitting is now we're going wider than shoulder width with our legs. So if we think about shoulder width, what I would like you to do with shoulder width is kind of bring your hands down and make sure that your knees are at least wider than that. If you would like, you can even go wider than that. So it's kind of like you're straddling the chair at home, but please make sure that you have the chair in front of you because we're going to be doing a gentle spinal twist. Okay for everybody to do. If you're osteoporotic, there's traction into this spinal twist, so you're okay to do that. Just don't cause any sort of pain. So find the amount of what is called goddess pose, where your legs are out. Now check with your knees that your ankles are directly underneath your knees, and check in at your toes. The second toe, ladies and gentlemen, kind of lines up with those knees and ankles. So get all of that alignment happening down here. Once you have that, place your hands so that they're on kind of the upper and inside of your knees. Now take a nice deep inhale, and as you inhale, kind of think about going into a cat pose, but bring your weight forward until you start to feel this stretch. Exhale, stay right there. Shoulder blades and back and down. Don't be wearing your shoulders as earrings for me. In this position now, we're going to do a little bit of a traction rotation. So the weight of your arms being straight, you've got length through all of the vertebrae of your spine. So just take a nice deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, just gently twist the shoulders to the left and then gently look over the left shoulder. Take a deep inhale here and exhale here. Good. Inhale and then exhale, come back to the center. Keep that traction of your spine. This is a nice, safe way to rotate in sitting. And actually, some people can create immense relief of their back pain by doing this. Weight shift forward so you feel that stretch through your inner thigh. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, just gently rotate a little bit to the right. It's almost like you push a little bit more with your left hand. Gaze goes over the right shoulder. Take an inhale and exhaling here. Beautiful. Nice inhale. Exhale, come back to the center. And then inhale, exhale, take the rib cage and bring it back over the pelvis. Very nice. All right, let's get to the hip flexors. So for most of us in sitting, this is what we need to fix a lot of issues that we have with our back. So what I want you to do is to turn yourself in your chair so that your right sit bone is literally off of the corner of the chair. So if you think about it, it just kind of means that your right leg is dangling. Now, feel free to hold on to the back of the chair, particularly if you feel like there's a bit of a balance issue. Check in with your front leg. Have it so that your front leg, the left leg, the knee stacks directly on top of the ankle, and your leg is pointed straight away from you. All right, so in this position, keep your toes turned under unless there's a reason that you can't, and see if you can get yourself to the point that your right knee stacks directly underneath your hip. So if there was a seam in your pants, that seam in your pants right now is perfectly perpendicular to the floor. All right, so that we don't use any back here, because a lot of times what we want to do when we're trying to focus on stretching our hips is we just take our entire rib cage and bring it behind us, because that creates nerve tension in our nerves of the front of our hip. That's not what I want you to do. I want this to be about the hip flexors. Those are muscles. Now you will get some nerve tension, but I don't want it to be purely about nerve tension. So one good way to make sure that the rib cage stays stacked on the pelvis over the knee is you can just bring your right hand up into the left leg. It gives a bit of a rotation, but that's okay. Now, take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, tuck your tailbone under as you tighten your abdominals. You should have a nice little gentle stretch to the front of the hip. All right, hold that. Take a deep inhale into your belly, and then exhale here. Now, if you want more, relax your tuck for a minute and take your leg and see how far back can you go before you feel your back arch. So keeping your rib cage nice and steady, can you get your leg nice and straight behind you? So now we're in a modified crescent pose using a chair. So in this position, check in that your heel is straight behind you and it's not turning in and it's not turning out. Check in that you haven't created so much back extension that you're in this big sway back. That is not going to help you open up these hip flexors, folks. So if that's you at home, come back to the position we were just in, or maybe a modification of it. So just continue coming back until you get to the point. Where's the point where all of a sudden I feel that all I'm doing is arching my back? All right. From here, take that deep inhale, and then on the exhale, tuck that tailbone under and get that stretch through those muscles. If you feel less of a stretch here, guess where you need to be? Here. So only go to where you feel your stretch, wherever it may be. Now, let's add one more piece to this. Right hand, if you're ready and you want to, take an inhale and lift the arm up. And then on the exhale, just side bend over to the left. Now, can you take a deep inhale into your right hip? And then as you exhale, push back a little bit into the right heel. Good. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhale in and exhale. Inhale the right hand back up, side bend the body, bring it back to neutral, and then exhale the arm down. Now, slowly relax this leg downward. Very good. Bring it all the way so that you're in a side sitting position, and then flip around, doing a 180 so that you're now facing the opposite side. Now going to be tackling the left hips. So the same deal, left sit bone, have it so that it's off the chair. Right hand can hold on to you so you don't have any balance issues. Allow yourself to start with just dropping the left leg down. Can you check in that your right knee and ankle are stacked? And if you look, your right knee and hip and ankle are all going in the right direction. From here, keep the toes turned under on this left side and see if you can get to the point that your left hip and left knee are perpendicular to one another. Now, again, like I mentioned on the other side, if you've got really tight hip flexors, what's happening to you right now is your entire rib cage is likely coming behind because you're trying to feel that stretch. There are nerves that are there that can give you the same feeling of a stretch as stretching a muscle. So we want to make sure that that rib cage stays forward so we're not putting undue tension on our nerves. So simply the easiest way to do that is to take the left hand and bring it to the left thigh so that the rib cage stays in front of the pelvis. All right, let's focus on opening up these hip flexors now. So take a deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under and feel that stretch through that front of that left hip, maybe even some to the outer. You do have a hip flexor that's more on the outside. Take a deep inhale into your belly here and exhaling out. All right, if you want to try the more advanced pose, you can simply continue to bring your leg back and figure out what is the position that if you go any further with your leg, you feel like you're backward bending. Where is that for you? It might be here. It might be that you stay right where you were, or you can try going into some length with that leg, making a full modified crescent pose here. All right, are you ready? Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. It's all about getting that pelvic tilt and engaging those abdominals. In this position, check in that that left ankle is straight behind you and you haven't turned it in either direction. If you want to add full pose to get some lengthening through the side of the body, let's take an inhale here, and on the exhale, side bend to the left. Very nice. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Keep those abdominals tight. Take a deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling out. Very nice. Inhale, lift the arm and rib cage back up, and then exhale it down. And then slowly bring this leg back inward. Now, from here, we're transitioning to being on our knees with our chair. So here's what I want you to do. Just because you're already in a side position of your chair, just gently bring yourself down onto your left leg. Then allow yourself to bring the right foot here and then turn your chair so that your chair is positioned fairly close to the end of your yoga mat. In that position, we're ready now to do some hands and knee poses, that we could simply do without the chair, but a lot of times using it for chair yoga creates enough of a modification that we can get even better alignment and better elongation of our muscles and strength of our muscles. So here's where I want to begin. I want to begin showing you the easy way to do hands and knees cat-cow. So allow yourself to have your hands and your elbows on the chair shoulder width. So for most of you, it's going to be the width of your shoulder of your chair seat. In that position, walk your knees in so that your knees stack directly on top of your hips. Check in that you can't see your feet on the inside or the outside of your mat behind you. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Here is a incline or a modification of table pose. Now let's go through cat-cows. So as you inhale, sink your belly, sink your spine, lift your tailbone, shoulder blades back and down and look up. And then as you exhale, really tuck the tailbone under, belly into the spine, chest and chin. Look into your belly button as you spread those shoulder blades. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the chest, tailbone lift, shoulder blades back and down, look up and gaze up. And then exhale, pull the tailbone under as the belly button comes in, spread the shoulder blades, lengthen the chin to the chest and look into your belly button. 1 more time. Inhaling, breathe all the way through it. And then exhaling and exhaling and exhaling. Very nice. Now, for those of you that have really tight shoulders or really tight trunk bodies, this is my favorite way to use a chair to open up the side bodies. So here's what I'd like you to do. Look at your feet and take your feet to the left side of your mat. Once your feet are to the left side of your mat, stack your knees up so that they line up with the center of your chair. So it's essentially like you're doing, I'm getting ready to do child's pose at a 90-degree angle from your chair. That's the position that I want you in. Once you're there, with your right hand, reach as far on that chair as you can to the back of the chair. Left hand's going to create traction, so hold the edge of the chair. Now take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, use that left hand and help yourself sit away from the chair. Oh boy, does that feel good on that right shoulder and side body. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and if you can, place the crown on the edge of the chair. Take a deep inhale into your rib cage here. And exhale, can you sit any further? Are your knees still stacked one on top of the other, or have you rotated? 1 more time, nice deep inhale in and exhaling. Then slowly coming up and flipping and doing that all over on the opposite side. So same deal. Take your knees and line them up so it's into the center of the chair. Once you have that, feet are just gently to the side. Left arm, bring it to the back of the chair. Right arm to the front of the chair. So the right arm kind of creates the traction for you to do that whole sitting down that's going to open up through the side body. Now take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, sit your hips back to the back of your mat. Oh boy, does that feel good on that left shoulder. Right hand is pushing as you're opening up through the side body. Nice deep inhale here. Exhaling, see if you can allow the crown of the head to touch the front of the chair. Deep inhale into the rib cage here, and exhaling. Then inhaling, coming back up and bringing yourself back into this position, going into a modification of child's pose to really help us open up through basically the upper part of our rib cage, so up through here. Take your hands and rest your hands on the front of your chair. Allow yourself to have the crown of your head resting on top of your forearms. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, just drop your sternum towards the floor. Take a deep inhale into your belly and chest, and then exhale. Can you drop any further? 1 more nice deep inhale, belly and chest, And exhale, can you go any further? Then slowly coming up. Now, if you have it in your practice, now if that was difficult for you, do it all the same way again. One more time, opening up through here really helps us, particularly with neck pain. If you've got it in your practice that you can add a little bit more of a shoulder stretch to that, here's what we're going to do. Take your elbows and see if you can touch your elbows to the front center of the chair. Hands, kind of interlace your hands if you want, or just point your fingertips up towards the floor. Then drop your head between those two elbows. Now take a deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, attempt to sit back and drop that sternum towards the floor. Deep inhale in. Exhale, drop that chest downward, now opening up through the rib cage and the shoulders. Give me one nice belly breath here, and exhaling out. Slowly inhaling, bringing yourself upward. All right, one more thing for the chair before we lay down. We're gonna attempt downward dog. Now, when I say that, I say attempt because for a lot of us, downward dog doesn't look that different than hands and knees, depending on how tight your hamstrings are. So we did hamstrings in sitting already. If when you did hamstrings in sitting, your knees were still quite bent, then downward dog for you shouldn't be that your knees are straight. You're putting a lot of tension in your nervous system if you do that. But let's give this a try. Can you take your hands and hold the outer edges of your chair? In this position, take your toes and turn them under. All right. Shoulder blades back and down, neck lengthened and gazing down towards the chair. So give this a try if you can. Take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, can you push yourself up and away from the chair? Only have your knees as straight as you could when you did your hamstring elongation in sitting. So you're pushing into the chair with your arms, you're pushing your hips back, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and look down into your mat. Can you take a deep inhale here? And on the exhale, can you push your hips back even further? One more time, deep inhale in, and exhale, push your hips back even further. Now, take an inhale, and on the exhale, bring your weight into your arms and gently drop your knees towards the floor. So if you're at home with me, did you think because it was chair yoga, it was going to be easy? No, right? I want to teach you ways that you can do yoga safely with good alignment, but that allows you to do modifications of things that you wouldn't be able to do in a yoga class because of different tightnesses or weaknesses in your body. All right, so let's make it now our way down to the floor. You can keep your chair right where it is on the edge of the front edge of your mat. But what I'd like you to do is allow yourself to just gently come down to the side of your mat, lay on your side, and then rotate yourself so that you are now resting with your heels onto the front edge of your chair. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Have your shoulder blades back and under. Not quite time for Savasana. We still have two good things that I want to really help you learn here using your chair. So can you look at your knees right now and see that they're fist width? Very nice. With your knees fist width and your heels into the chair. If you right now just dig your heels into your chair, can you feel that that creates a pelvic tilt? That, ladies and gentlemen, is you using your hamstrings. I want to teach you how to use a chair to do bridge pose without creating this crazy pelvic tilt that happens when you fire your hamstrings. So place your hands on your belly, take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, tighten your abdominals and keep your pelvis nice and stable. Now gently put pressure into your heels. But here's what I want you to do. Gaze and look at your knees. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, can you just push your knees upward towards the ceiling without creating that tilt in your pelvis? That's your glutes. Take a deep inhale here, Exhale, can you go any further? Only go to where you feel the tilt or your hamstring cramp, then come away from that. Hold here, nice deep inhale into your belly, and then exhale, drop your pelvis back down to the mat. Straighten your left leg so your calf is touching the chair. Right knee, bring it into your chest. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, pull that knee into your chest and take your hands to the underside of your knee. Just in case you were at home and that created a hamstring cramp, point your toes up towards your head, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take an inhale and straighten that knee. Keep the knee to your chest. Exhale and bend it. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale and bend it. And 1 more time. Inhaling, straightening the knee, and exhaling and bend it. Very nice. Slide the left foot up so the knee is bent. Place the right foot on the chair. Take the left knee to the chest, straightening the left leg up onto the chair, hands behind the knee. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, pull your knee to your chest. Now keep your right leg resting, left toes pointed up. Keep the knee to the chest. Give me an inhale and straighten the knee. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Exhale, relaxing here. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling and straightening. Exhaling and relaxing. And 1 more time, inhaling and straightening, and exhaling and relaxing. Good. Keep the left knee to the chest. Just slide the right leg so that now both knees are to your chest. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, pull your knees nice and close and into your chest. Very nice. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Let's do that 1 more time. Deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Great. Simply stack your knees on top of your hips. Take your knees and your feet together. Make them all 1 unit and gently bring your arms out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, let your knees fall to the right. Where do they go? Let your whole shoulder blade lift up if you can today, but keep your knees stacked and see where they go. And then gently lengthen out through the left arm. Let your head rotate towards the left. Take that deep inhale into wherever it is that you feel that stretch. And then exhaling out. Inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Starting at the left shoulder blade, use your abdominals, use your back muscles, and pull that rib cage back down, followed by the spine and pelvis until the knees are back to their stacked position. Arms are out to the side of your body. Squeeze the thighs, keep them all as 1 unit. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, let it all go as far as it can to the left. Shoulder blade's gonna lift here. Then allow yourself to counter rotate, lengthen that right arm away from you, lengthen your neck as you turn and look to the right. Can you keep your knees and your ankles stacked? Nice deep inhale. Wherever you feel the length, that's where I want you to breathe. 1 more deep inhale. And exhale. All right, derotating. Can you use the abdominals to pull the rib cage down first, followed by the spine and pelvis until the knees are back upright? All right, gently take your knees to your chest 1 more time. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Take 1 more inhale and an exhale. And then slowly place your legs on the chair. Final pose using your chair. It's just a modification of Savasana where our knees are resting upright, our feet are resting onto the chair. Check in that your legs are no longer next to one another, but at least hip distance apart. Shoulder blades are underneath you. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Take a deep inhale in and then an exhale out. All right, so let's go back to that science of enlightenment. We talked about a good breathing technique to distract away from pain. But how do we meditate to go within the pain to resolve it? Well, that really takes using your mind. It really takes focus on the pain. So, wherever pain might be in your body today, knee, shoulder, back, hip, foot, toe, finger, head, heart, mind, picture that pain for a moment. Physically, picture it. Wherever that pain is, does it have a shape? Is it circular, rectangular? Is it kind of like an amoeba that it has a weird shape and goes in different directions and different lengths? Literally in your mind, picture drawing exactly where that pain is. And then envision the borders of it. Go within that pain, ladies and gentlemen. You can imagine a clock and you took your eyes and you just kind of drew a circle around the edges of the clock. Do the same thing with your pain. Take your eyes and go around the lines of that pain. Become so intimate with exactly where that pain is that your mind's focus can help you identify exactly the pain. As you've drawn an outline of it with your mind's eye, now allow yourself to look inside those lines. Picturing that pain, identify its color. Is it a vibrant red or a deep purple or a screaming orange? Picture what that pain color resembles to you in your mind's eye. And for the last moments that you're laying here, every exhale you take, imagine that color becoming softer and lighter and softer and lighter as it slowly makes its way to as close to white as you can. And as you visualize that pain and you look within, allow yourself to understand how much our mind plays a role in what our body feels. Every breath softer and lighter. Now gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and maybe some circles with your wrists and your ankles or bending your elbows or your knees. And then when you feel like you're ready, gently allow yourself to roll to your side and then push yourself up into a seated position. Hands are to our hearts and smiles are on our faces. Chair yoga. Is it what you thought it was going to be? Take a nice deep inhale and an exhale. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you, guys.